Thank you, Chairman, and I'll keep my questions brief because, you know, I've been talking about organic farming there last week and this week, and the difficulties that I know a lot of organic farmers experience in that direction myself are finding it difficult to survive as such. I know it sounds like the Minister has a lot of ambitious plans, and I sincerely hope that these will be followed through because they're needed on the ground as such. You know, people are paying up to, you know, for a farmer with 50, 60, 70 acres, he's paying up to €600 for registration. A planner, maybe €500. He's probably getting a grant of 2,000. He can't get nothing. Can't sell his cattle in rural areas because there's no market for them. Unfortunately, that area has been left completely. There's a vacuum there as such that the market should be encouraged to have a market for organic cattle. I suppose the questions I want to ask is the organic farming scheme in 2018. 225 applications are made. 110 farmers never got in, and 63 stayed organic and are farming organic. Have they got the conversion payments, or will they get it in the new scheme? And the second question is, the new organic scheme, farming scheme, wasn't full, and why wasn't it full? And the third question is, I hear so much about new eco schemes. What I can't understand is, why can't we develop the one great scheme we have as the organic scheme? So why are we talking about bringing in another one? They're all at the end of the day, the organic has to be the most eco scheme that's there, and we should be developing that scheme. Why aren't we doing that? Thank you, Chairman.
Mr. Hayes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Just firstly on the applicants who applied in 2019, what we have done this time around, because there were budget constraints in 2019 that didn't allow us, unfortunately, to take in every applicant. The scheme was oversubscribed. But for those that did continue with their organic conversion, we have followed through and given them priority entry. And we made it clear at the time of the reopening of the scheme this year that if it was oversubscribed, those farmers who applied in 2019 and continued through with their organic conversion would be given priority entry. So we're honouring that, and there's no question but that they will be first in the queue for the decision on the entrance this time around. Just on the eco scheme point, I agree with Deputy Collins. The organic scheme is an excellent scheme, and we fully intend to have an enhanced organic scheme very similar to the model that we have now in the next CAP. So we're absolutely not throwing the baby out with the bathwater here. It's a good scheme. It works. It maybe needs a few tweaks, and we'll make those tweaks in terms of design for next time around. But the Minister has made very clear, as part of her ambition for the sector, that she wants and sees an enhanced scheme under the next CAP being a key part of this. So there's a lot of intensive work ongoing on that at the moment. The point around the eco scheme, I suppose, and the GLAS is just that they can also be drivers for organics as well. So, for example, in GLAS last time around, organic farmers were entitled to priority access. In eco scheme, in the terms of the design of the eco scheme this time around on the points model, one of the aspects under consideration is that points could be given automatically to farmers who are already organic. So it's those kind of indirect supports that we're talking about here, which would complement the organic farming scheme that's already there. And I think they're the kind of things that, a bit like we talked about the market supports, that when farmers are looking around to consider whether they're applying, they're seeing not just the benefits that they're getting directly from the organic farming scheme in terms of the conversion and the maintenance payments. They're seeing that, well, this also affords me the opportunity for priority entry to the GLAS scheme, the next GLAS scheme, to the eco scheme. So it's all part of a suite of offerings really for organic farmers that we believe could really significantly drive the output. In terms of this year, we don't yet know the land coverage that the 317 farmers who applied brought with them. So it's possible that, in fact, they could have brought more land. The reopening, when the scheme reopened in 2019, the farmers who joined then brought in on average 48 hectares, which is above the average 38 hectares of those already in the scheme. So we hope for something similar this time around in terms of, getting closer and closer to the land coverage targets. I think, listen, when you reopen a scheme, it is hard to know exactly what the level of interest is. I think we did a huge amount in terms of engaging the advisory services. We funded the ACA directly, the private advisory services. They organised a number of workshops for their members. We worked very closely with the organic certification bodies. We did a lot of, obviously, publicity ourselves. But, farmers are looking around. It coincided with the opening of the REAP scheme earlier this year as well. And anecdotally, we heard of competition in farmers' minds between whether they might join the organic farming scheme or they might join the REAP scheme. We haven't done a full analysis yet of those who haven't applied. We're working off sort of feedback from organic certification bodies and advisory services at the moment. But I would think, listen, this needs a sustained campaign here. This needs another reopening now, and the Minister has indicated very strongly that if that funding is available, that's very much her intention. So if you get another cohort of farmers in next year, perhaps when you don't have the competition of other transitional schemes, again, that's another item for discussion, a policy matter under the next budget. But I think we're all the time building towards the next CAP as well. It's important that farmers understand clearly as well, and there were some mixed signals, I think, in media and otherwise around whether now was the right time to join the organic scheme. I think it's very clear now is absolutely the right time, and the 317 people who joined, subject to all being well, will be accepted in, and we know how much land they bring with them when we do the full review of the BPS schemes. Another reopening next year and an enhanced organic scheme in whatever form that might take from the next CAP.
Okay, Mr. Hayes.
And a dedicated standalone CAP scheme. These will all be major factors.
Okay.